Alright guys, I am back. I did the video on the experience lights and how that new 16 port controller worked. What I'm going to do today is show you how I put a box together. I've got this box here that I've already prepped. Put a hole for a vent and a fan here, another vent down here. I have put my PG7 plugs in, drill them all out one by one. I run power cables. I'm using HP servers, so a lot of people have asked how do we cut the cord and get those in. Get these nice little connectors off of Amazon. Allows me to disconnect and cut the cord and put it back together, run it through PG9, come out on the other side with our power connectors. I'm gonna look at everything that I have for today. JDation does acrylics, so I got these off of JDation. They're gonna give me the mounts, the screws, everything drilled out exactly where I want it. That's my board mounted. My HP power supplies get mounted as well. I'm gonna run we're running 24 strings of lights off of this controller for a mega tree that I'm gonna do, a pixel tree. I've already got my Curly's run. I'll power each side of the board. This is how it operates. I've got a fan here on the vent that goes on the front, another vent on the bottom. We'll get into building this, and we're just gonna go step by step. Didn't show you how to drill it, didn't show you how to prep the box. Apologize for that. I actually took this apart yesterday to show everybody how I'm doing this again. Again, I'm gonna run 24 strings. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I have 12 wires here ready to go. I am possibly going to run it to different ports. So I have 2 Ethernet jack connectors that we're going to put through these 2 holes here. These 2 plugs go on the top of them when I plug in on the outside. Obviously network in to one, network out to another. PG7s here is what my wires run through. So I've got the caps here. We might have to pull the rubber gaskets out. So we'll see what we need to do when we get in there. First thing I'm going to do, bring my box over. I have power cables already in here, so I'm going to kind of bring them out of my way. I'm going to take my power supplies. You got to get these down in here first. Kind of go at an angle, work them around the power. Everything sits down in there just like that. We screw down this one. I've already assembled this once before, so I know it's going to work. We got screws down here that actually attach this acrylic plate down to the bottom. We've got these risers here, all 4 corners for that other plate. That's a dual mount. We'll run our power up, power up. We're going to route our fan. I'm going to route the power wires. So one by one, this is how you assemble a box for your light show. You can do this with the Falcon F16. I have one in the garage already. This is with the Experience Lights 16 Genius controller. Same thing I showed a video on a while back. And we're putting in a box again for a mega tree, I think is what you call them. I can't remember. I've been so busy with work lately. So run my power just to the side here. Second power. I'm only running 24 strings of lights. It would seem insane that I'm running, what are these, 750 watt power supplies. But the more the merrier is the way I look at it. Go big or go home. I live in Texas. Everything in Texas is bigger. Kind of find a way that you like these to go in here. I'll take my fan mount it on the outside. I have this just straight powered. This is going to power on 24/7. Have that power wire a little bit long so that I can get around everything. Get my power wires ready. I got to connect to the board. So take this other acrylic I showed you earlier. Nice and easy. I do want to do something else first though. Got to put these guys in. Getting a little ahead of myself. Kind of got to have a process when you do this. I remember when I built this the first time, took it apart a couple times, put it back together a couple times. It's trial and error. It's just what we do in a DIY hobby. Should have put these in before I put the power supplies in the bottom, obviously. One there. Got our second one here. It's a big box, but you can see how tight it is to work in. I think some people have a problem with that. It's a DIY hobby. We work around things, we make it work. Just got a little mess of wires here. Keep it professional, keep it nice and clean. Got to remember I have a board coming in, so we're going to take the board. Watch where our power is at. Can you give me a hand, kiddo? Hold all this right here. I do want to run. Come over here. Hold on to these. You hit the so I do want to run down here out of my way. This one there. This one there. Go, door swings open. One of these I'm actually going to run through and come up the other side. So like I said, folks, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It does take time. Kind of plan it out, but there's no right or wrong way to do it, because this guy's got to plug in over here. So we have power. Got my helper here. Hold on to this one. You got voltage on the right, so I'm running 12 volts. I run that guy there. Ground on the left. Run that guy there. The other side here, we have voltage on the right again. I remember on the Falcon, it was backwards, so you really got to watch that on the Falcon controllers. They're not both on the same side. You can fry a board if you get it wrong, so pay attention to where it says voltage and where it says ground on each board that you're working with. It's going to be the same for Culp. It's going to be the same for Falcon. It's going to be the same for Experience. Just understand what you're looking at, what you're doing. All right. We're going to leave it loose for now. This is my spare plug. We're going to tuck in. Actually, we're going to run it to 17 through 20 because I will run a port off of this. Now the fun part comes, running our wires. I'm going to feed them through. Kind of twist, turn, pull. Twist, turn, pull. You know what I forgot to do? Bing! Gotta feed it through here first. You gonna put one of those on each one of those for me? You have this nut that goes over and compresses down. You also have this rubber washer that goes in here. That's what I had to push through. So that's already mounted inside of here. A little bit tricky, guys. I'll come up back in here. Got these labeled 2, 4, 6, 8, or 2, 4. Looks like 12, 14, 16 because I'm running to the ports. So you're gonna feed through right there. Find the way that works best for you. I just remembered again, second time I built this same one. I have a box in the garage for my main show. I should put all the bottom ones in first. We're going to give a lot of slack here. Put our nut in loosely. We got slack here. Got my helper over here assembling everything for me. Yeah, kind of twist them in. Nothing really wants to work because it's a tight fit. Again, this is going to be a watertight fit by the time we're done. This box will actually be outside at the base of my tree. Really, the hardest part to this, guys, is putting all these wires in. Putting a power supply in, assembling the box, drilling the holes. That can be a challenge. Getting all of these situated into the box, though, is one of the challenges I've seen. And this is a 16 port, so I could have 16 of these wires in here, whereas I only have 12 of them. So I've got a little bit more room to play with here. I tend to the end of all the wires. This is not the factory ones. This is my wire extensions that I buy from Wired Watts. Again, the acrylics I get from JDation. You can go to their websites. You can tell it what power supplies you have. You can tell it what boards you have, what power distribution blocks you have, what 4-port receivers you have, any which way. You then can go on there. You can outline and tell it and place those devices on the acrylic for the box that you want. So I chose this bigger box so I can expand later. But you can basically lay out all your parts and pieces inside this box. Submit your order once you're satisfied. JDation will then ship it to you. All the nuts, all the bolts, all the sleeves, the standoffs. whatever you chose and however you chose to build it, all those parts and pieces come to you ready to go. Now I'm assembling this on a CNC table that I built myself. It's interesting because I can cut acrylic. I don't know if I'd try to do what Jadiation does. He makes it too simple. It's affordable for the hobby. And it's very professional in the way he does it. So even though I have a CNC, I think I'll always order these from Jadiation. But you can see this is the consuming part. After this, you good? After this, with my Falcon, I'd have to use the green connectors. I forget the name of them, but I have to screw them all in and plug them in. They tug, they pull. With experienced lights, it's kind of nice. It's push to connect. So I'm going to show you how I push to connect once I get all these situated. Then once they're situated, we're going to pull them down into place. So I'm on 14, which is there. That's down under. That's a fun one. So one thing when you're drilling your box, pay attention to where you route your wires. Go fishing for this one. So fighting with a power wire as well. Might need to reroute that power wire. Work with this power wire. Bring it down. And around. No power hooked up yet, so I'm going to work with that here in a second. So I'm going to bring y'all over. Take my capture nuts here. Some in on the box. This actually holds down the other panel. This is going to mount on the wall, so we want to make sure that it's going to mount to the wall. And it's not going to fall. You hate when you drop a screw in the bottom. But then you got a magnetic tip to make it work. These don't have to be tight, guys. You will actually break the acrylic if you try to tighten them. But what I noticed that works, I get them cinched down, and then I press down. press down, press down, press down. It's not going to be vibrating, it's not going to be moving around. Should be perfectly fine. Gonna resituate you guys so we can see exactly what's going to go on. So we watch here. We're going to start connecting. I'm going to start on the right, just because it's simpler for me right where I'm at. So 15. And you got voltage, data, and ground. I know voltage is red. The way these work, you press down on them, insert, give it a tug. I think they have a newer design. They're always creating something new, which is awesome about these guys with experienced lights. But I jumped and bought this board when it was brand new. So this is what I have, this is what I'm gonna work with. So yeah, once I get that in there, that's 15. I'm gonna back it out, back it out, back it out, back it out, back it out. Tighten down for now. See how clean that is on that one wire? Gonna come to our next one here. Port 16. Get our ground. Data. Sorry, our voltage, our data. And our ground. So 16. Gonna bring down. Tighten it down. Leave some slack in the box, but not a lot. Reconnect our power here. Again, guys, just a hobby. Not planning to burn my house down. Make sure I got secure connections. This will be out in the yard underneath the tree. Did the same thing with my Falcon. Got that one there. I'm gonna go through, connect the rest of them, catch up on the video and show you how it all works when I get that all situated.